So it's really about upgrading anything today, upgrading anything. You recognize that store? Restaurant? That they just finished rolling all of these out. You're looking at the actual, what you would, if you visited any McDonald's in Europe today, that's what you would see. That's McDonald's. And so if McDonald's can do that, then why the heck can't we upgrade? And so our stores, again, customers are getting their expectations set by these other companies. And how are we responding to it? And by the way, yeah, architecture is also leading the way. If you saw the Beijing Olympics and you saw all of the new incredible, incredible architecture at the Olympic Games and in Beijing, and it's happening in Dubai, it's happening everywhere. Architecture is raising the bar. Consumers are seeing this new cool stuff and they're saying, wow, you know, I want a piece of that myself. Also, as boring as self-storage. Self-storage is now being redefined. It's no longer these little, you know, look like old trailer parks. It's now absolutely beautiful, beautiful, stunning buildings. And hotels clearly have been doing it for quite a long time, upgrading the experience for the customer. And retail, we're doing the same thing. This is a retail mall in Japan that is absolutely, absolutely stunning. And what we are seeing is, and our customers are seeing, is this whole new renaissance in retail. This also, again, is in Japan. This is a t-shirt shop, and they're selling t-shirts in little cans. And absolutely, absolutely beautiful, beautiful place. And another one, big, big trend for you guys, what we call domain. I mentioned it earlier. And whether you want to call it what Faith Popcorn called it in the 90s, which was the concept of cocooning, or you want to call it what we're calling today domain, people's homes are still their castles. And people are looking for industrial grade and quality products and outfitting for their home. I will tell you one thing, I've lived through 4 recessions in retail. And one thing I learned in my first recession, second, third, and fourth, and it remains true today, people will buy 2 kinds of products in a recession. One are what, but they're both I words, by the way. They will buy indulgences. And so hence we find places like cosmetic departments are not doing that badly, because women will allow themselves a little indulgence when time is bad. You know, the makeup is not going to go away. And the other big I word, and you guys should write it down and put it all over your store, and you already know it, and that is investment. Nobody wants to feel in a down economy that they're throwing money away. Throwing money away is stupid. Investing is smart. And so when you're investing in your home, when you're investing in this kitchen, when I'm selling somebody during a recession, and by the way, I'm selling them anytime, I'm using that I word constantly with the customer. That this is an investment. It's an investment in your home, in your domain. And that's what the customer cares about. They don't want to feel that they're spending money inappropriately. They don't want to feel like they're throwing money away. They do want to feel like they're making an investment. So how do you do it? How do you upgrade everything? Well, you begin with creating traffic stopping stores. Human beings, as we'll see in a second, are visual. They're visual. And our visual has got to match the best that is out there. So when I walk into your store, I better be, wow. Store design and layout really has got to meet 2 criteria. One is your staff has got to be able to work the store. And believe me, I've worked in stores that were designed by idiots, that were just not easy for me to work in, and therefore much more difficult for the customer. So good design is about your staff, and it's about the customer. And great retail today, again, the technology we have, I'll tell you right now, one of the things we look at in retail today is adjacencies. And we look at our sales records and see what is purchased with what, so we put those 2 together. So if a customer, 80% of my transactions contain this item, what else is in that transaction? So I put that close together. 7-Eleven, for example, baby diapers. What is in 80% of every baby diaper transaction? 80% of people buy baby diapers also buy beer. True, beer. I mean, think about it. Honey, we need diapers. Okay, go to the... Beer? Diapers. They go together. And so now you go into any 7-Eleven and the beer is right across from the diapers. They understood the way the customer shops. So look at your adjacencies. And what do you have kind of right next to each other? And does it work for the sales associate and for the customer? Understand that decompression zone that I talked about before. Understand that walls, one of the reasons we love walls in retail is because we can merchandise pretty high on a wall. We can't do that in the middle of a store. Look at your fixtures, look at your lighting, look at the depth to a wall. You don't want to be too far from the aisle to penetrate into a vignette or a department. You want it pretty close. Paco Underhill also talked about butt brush. And that was fascinating. They have all kinds of video of when particularly a woman, this doesn't work for guys, but when a woman is looking at something that is deliberation merchandise, she needs to think about it. I'm looking at this display. She cannot have butt brush. In other words, if the aisle is too narrow and somebody is walking behind her, she's going to abandon that place. She's not going to spend time looking. So look at and go back and check your aisle widths where there is deliberation. Is there plenty of room for that customer? And again, remember lines of sight and focal points. Anytime you enter the store, what is in the focal area? So understand what your prime real estate is. You are not selling milk and bread. You don't have two products that drive people to the back of your store. So put your best sellers up front, your impulse items up front. If you've got any cleaners, any polishers, any kinds of impulse products at all, they should be up front and close to the front of the store. Your best sellers should be up there. So understand whether you're running a racetrack or whatever, understand where your feature walls are at, what your feature areas are. And there should be little stories and vignettes in each one of those areas. Again, it's a science. So understand your store front and what that's all about. And formal versus informal windows. Formal windows are backed and you tell a story in that window. Informal, they're open and the whole store is in essence the window. And what your floor treatment is like. And again, for you guys, your floor treatment had better be all tile. Excuse me, I better not find any carpeting in your stores. What's your ceiling heights like? What's your HVAC? And how easy is it to move? And again, look at the store front. How inviting is it? How inviting is it? If I'm driving by, if I'm looking at it, and by the way, for any of you, no, I won't do it. I have on my cell phone, I have a picture of a storefront in Chicago I just took 2 days ago. It was pretty frightening in a tile store. And basically telling me that there were no public washrooms and we're not really here to sell, so it's a showroom. Get out of here. Stunning sign. I should have had it up here, but I don't want to do it. Again, creative windows. Are you telling a story in your window? And are you making lifestyle statements in the store? Color. Understand the psychology of color. There is a psychology of color. Warm colors and cool colors and neutrals. They all give a different impression to the customer. And warm colors are generally better and give a customer more of a feeling of comfort than the cooler colors, the neutral colors, which tend to be a little bit more off-putting. And also, again, people walk towards the right. I talked about that before. People slow down when they see reflective surfaces. Why is that? When you have a mirror, people slow down. They want to look at themselves. And so again, smart retailers, if they've got mirrors in the store, they know in those particular areas, customers will kind of slow down. I mean, you may say, well, gee, why do I need a mirror? Nobody needs to look at themselves in tile. They're not going to put it on their chest and look in the mirror. But no, mirrors are also good for making spaces look bigger and for slowing customers down in parts of the store. And men clearly move a lot faster than women. Some rules. Change your store frequently. You've got to change your store almost every day. Doesn't mean moving everything around, but trust me, try just moving a few things. Try moving some front and forwards. Try moving a little bit around your cash wrap if you are doing any kind of products, tile care products, any kind of whatever. Move those around every day. It breaks through what we call habituation. Habituation today is a phenomenon where life is just too busy for people and they just simply don't have time. And so they don't pay attention to anything anymore. And the only thing that'll break through habituation is change. And so I need to change my store, change my front and forwards every day. Move it as often as possible. Also keep high margin products towards eye level. Again, consumers tend to look at eye level first. If you have any kind of shelving or any kind of wall display, keep your most profitable at eye level. Low margin, a little bit lower. One merchandise statement and a focal point. Don't make your windows or a focal point look like a dog's breakfast. If it is too confusing to me, if you try to show me everything in your store in the window, or you have a focal point display and it's got 17 or 18 or 13 different tiles, that's too busy for me. I know you're a tile store. Show me something simple that captures my imagination. And the more merchandise in a window, the less value and impact.